Koti pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. So whatever Swami I relate to, whatever I learned about Swami, everything happened in Dallas Sai Center. So it's a great feeling every time when I come to Dallas. In fact, for quite a long time, when I moved back to India, I made a point every 6 months or 20 years, I used to come to Dallas and spend time with devotees here. This time, when I visited here, I see a lot of new faces. And to be honest, I don't know most of the people in the center today. I used to know everyone in the region. I used to know every Sai devotee in the US by the time I left from here. So what I thought to share, it is very, all of you know the experience of Swami is very close to heart, and it goes several days also is not sufficient to share his experience. And the kind of experience he has endowed for me to experience him is not enough. But I will try to take a specific topic, how I could relate to Swami in a non-physical form interaction. How the same Swami, when he was in a human form, how he connected and directed and guided me. I came around 1995 period. Inadvertently, my brother dropped a book in my carry-on bag when I was traveling from India to Malaysia. I couldn't sleep in the flight, so I picked up that, I didn't know what to read, and there was a newspaper, but unfortunately the newspaper was in Malay, so I had to read something, so I took this book about Swami. So I was reading that book, about 5-10 minutes into reading that book, somebody started speaking from the book. And the more that was happening, and more I read, it has become very intense. I could not keep the book down. Then I got out of the flight, still I was reading the book on the immigration line. I went to my apartment, still I was reading the book. I went to work, and still I was reading the book. I finished that book in a period of 24 hours. And subsequently, the next about 40 days or sometime I lived in Malaysia. Every time there was a lot of Swami's presence I felt in various places. In the interest of time, I'm not elaborating. Each one of it itself is an extraordinary connection what Swami can provide if he decides to do. So from that point of time, without anybody knowing, because I was little hesitant about accepting or thinking about Swami and who is he, what is he type of stuff. So I was pushing. So without anybody knowing, I used to go to Parthi. So as soon as I landed in Malaysia, from Malaysia, I went from Chennai, I went to Parthi. And Swami gave a beautiful experience. He gave a Pada Namaskar, Vibhuti and whatnot. And it happened in a very miraculous circumstances. The most important is I've been doing this every time I go to Parthi, and I used to buy some books and come. And I had my own business that time in the US. And suddenly around 1999, I lost interest on everything about business, any activities. So my only job is I used to read Swami's book, I stay at home, and then sometimes I used to go to work. So my family and everybody was worried that I'm suddenly doing something very different. So that period I had a very deeper revelation within me that Swami is God and he is an avatar, but still I don't want to accept this because I missed most of part in my life. So I was challenging constantly in my mind with Swami that, are you really an avatar? So one experience started happening. I could not sleep. What happens is, whenever I used to close my eyes, Swami will appear in your eyes. So I couldn't close my eyes almost for about 12-13 days. That means I couldn't sleep at all. So because I was not sleeping, the whole daytime I used to be very, very cranky and suffer a lot. And I didn't know what to do. So the first time I decided, okay, I called somebody in Dallas and said, I knew he was a Swami's devotee. I went to his house and picked up Vibhuti and came. Because I really want to sleep. And I don't know what to do, and I couldn't tell anybody that. I tell anybody that Swami, whenever I close my eyes, Swami is appearing in front of me. So I applied Vibhuti that night, and for the first time after 13-14 days, I slept. And when around 4:15 in the morning time, I had a dream. In the dream, the little crawling Krishna was crawling vertically and Swami was walking like this. And Krishna handed over his flute to Swami and Swami picked it up on the left hand and started, it's a dream. So Swami walked further. Then there are 2-3 people, looks like Rishi, were standing. Then Swami asked in the dream to me, do you know who are these people? Then I said, Swami, they look like rishis. Swami said, no rishis. It is Vanavasa Rama. Then those people disappeared. Then only me and Swami. Swami asked me, do you understand what is an avatar? Whether I understand or not, in the dream I said yes. And then I asked a couple of questions in the dream. Swami answered those. One question he answered, one he said, I'll tell you later. The dream was over. I opened my eyes. I was lying down in my bed. My wife is sleeping right of mine. Swami was standing in a physical form next to my bed. He was standing this distance, about 3 feet from me. I didn't know what to do. There was a lot of tension or fear, pressure engulfed me. Then I said, Swami, the same pressure when I talk about this incident happens to me. I exactly get the same feeling. I said, Swami, I feel like you're standing. Maybe I thought about you too much. I'm hallucinating. If you're really standing, first thought is I wanted to wake my wife up and take darshan. Then something told me, no, don't do it. Because if she doesn't see Swami, then next day my light of my life is directly to psychiatrist. So I decided against that. Then I asked Swami to show me that was really present. Swami did a very interesting thing. He smiled. Then he did one hand Abhayasta. Then he turned, walked out of my bedroom by opening my bedroom door and kept it open, and he disappeared. He got up. Immediately I had a beautiful smell and wonderful taste came in my mouth. Morning 4:30, how I would generally be staying, but this is totally different. I didn't brush for 2 days. That smell remained for 2 days. So this was my first experience. After various experiences he gave over a period of 5 years, he prepared. So next day I started searching for Sai Center. this is the way I came into, or he ensured that I had to come in his fold. There was no looking back after that with my relationship with Swami. And it became deeper and deeper. I became very active in Swami's activity in a very short period. And I had an opportunity to organize a trip to Parthi for about 350 people. For the first time, a group traveled from US to India. And I used to be a global head of a company called KPMG, so one of the consulting company. So, not knowing what is going to happen after this Parthi trip. So there used to be one next level of, I'm telling this, not many people have shared this. Once I started developing deeper connection with Swami, started talking to him, I started praying and all, I developed a special practice for myself. I used to get up every day at 3:15 in the morning. And we had a room for Swami, one bedroom was converted into Swami's room. I used to go and sit in that room and do Namasmarana and do Ashtotram and few things for 15-20 minutes or half an hour. Then I simply sit quiet. After about 4 or 5 months, I did every day this. But even if I travel, I used to do in the hotel room. Swami started communicating to me. He used to do 3 things, 3 different ways. One, he would come, you will see him, and he won't speak. He'll be with you. Sometimes, you know he is here, but he will speak, you will hear him on your ears. Sometimes you won't be there, you won't speak, you will not hear any audio or you will not have any video, but you will know what he is communicating to you. So this has been this beautiful relationship developed. And Swami told, within about few days of this, not to tell this to anybody. So I've never shared this till about 2008, 2009, even with my wife. So this used to happen, and it used to be a beautiful experience. There are a lot of things he has told me. I'll just tell 2 things of this metaphysical Swami communicating to you. One is, one day, this experience is very important because I have a story to tell for this experience. One day in 2001, I was so much emotional with my relationship with Swami and the way he came. So every time when he comes, he'll ask, what do you want? And every time I'll say, blessings on your love. But that day I was little deep in my mind. I said, Swami, I don't want anything, but I want to give. Then he laughed. And he asked, what do you want to give? Then I said, Swami, you are everything. So because you are everything, I cannot give anything. But today the way I feel is, I am different from you. So I can give myself. He moved. He became very serious. Then blessed me, touched on my head, and then checked his hand. He did something like this, like the way he was. And he said, I will change few things. So you will come and be with me and serve me for last 7 years of this avatar. So over. Then I still every day this deep gone into myself. So I started calculating. So Swami said 96 years, 2022, he's going to disappear after 2022. So 2015 I should be ready to move, and all my my work life and business life, everything I have to stop by 2015. Whenever Swami calls, immediately I should be available to be there. All the calculation I did. Then in 2004, Swami, in this same metaphysical connection, in December I was supposed to travel to India for 2 weeks vacation. Every time there was no vacation, only to go to Patti or Vrindavan. So I was supposed to go with my family. Swami said, you cancel the ticket. It used to be very personal. School admission to everything, he used to tell how he does everything in the interview room. He does it in my puja every day. So he told me, you cancel the ticket. So I canceled the ticket to go to India. Then 10 days later, he told me, book the ticket for January 14th for all of you. So I booked a ticket for all of us. On January 11th, 2004, morning, same type, he said, when you go to India, don't come back. You be there only. From your job, house. He didn't answer. When you go to India, you're not coming back. So, morning I went. I didn't know what to do because I'm a very senior person. My notice period was minimum 3 months. And generally 6 months is a notice period, and transition takes minimum 3 months. I went to work. I don't know, but by 2 o'clock, I was relieved. And all my settlement was done. Then I came back home and told my wife that I resigned my job and we are going to India and we are not coming back. Then all our SAI brothers, everybody came together. They packed all our bags, sold our car, everything in 24 hours, and then we set to flight to India on 14th. Then when I went to India, it was not this bedroom Swami is missing. And Vrindavan and Patti, everything was taking its own method of welcoming you. And while most of the organization people, most of the few people, senior people I know, but still I tried going to Sai Center, going to Vrindavan, nothing was working. I'll just share one experience of Swami, that how personally you take care of your prayers during this period. Nobody knew me, so like every darshan is an episode and we have to do it. So once, I've never been to Shivaratri and seen Shivaratri in Patti. So I was so thrilled because in February month I was planning to go to Shivaratri, so the 2 days before Shivaratri I went and going for darshan. On Shivaratri, what happened? You stand on the queue morning darshan separate queue, Shivaratri afternoon queue is a separate queue. So I skipped morning darshan, stood in the Shivaratri afternoon queue, and then suddenly when the crowd was moving into the Sai Kulantal, there was a stampede happened on the street. I got stuck in the stampede and about 100 people walked over me. And I slowly gathered myself and went and sat in the corner of Kulvantal. I was extremely annoyed. And my humanness was taking over me, and then what? I've been a fantastic position in the US and doing everything. Suddenly, you brought me here and everybody is walking over me and I've been treated like a filth. I said, Swami, I don't want. I don't want to have your darshan anymore. If you're going to treat me like this, I will see you in my house, in my altar. I'm not coming to Patti anymore. I went back to Bangalore immediately after Shivaratri, and then I never came to Patti. But 1.5 months later, somebody from Dallas came to Patti and said, Girish, we want to see you. Then I said, come to Bangalore. No, you come to Patti. You have only 1 day, please come and see us. So I went to see them, not for darshan. I've already decided no more darshan in Kulvantal, no more. This business is not working. So I met him in Patti, and I said, by the time somebody called me, Girish, you are here, please come, I'm going for darshan. I said, no, you go, no, you come with me. And he took me and made me to sit in veranda. Trust me, after that, all my darshan with Swami was in veranda or in Yajur Mandir or in Bhajan Hall. He has never ever made me to go through any time to have a problem with Sudarshan. And to that extent, that level of love and proximity he created soon. When I used to live in Dallas, I used to make one very important statement about Swami. And that was deep inside me. We all live in the US, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom houses. I used to tell people, Swami doesn't have a house. He announced his avatar road under a tree. He built a temple. He was living on, if you ask Swami, where are you living? I'm living on top of a temple. Then something happened, they put him in an auditorium. If you ask him where are you living, he has to say that I'm living on top of an auditorium. I don't know whether any of you have seen Purnachandra Auditorium Swami's room. The room is very, very small. About 20% of the size of this room. Probably the kitchen is bigger than Swami's room in Purnachandra. So this used to always my feeling. Swami used to live in a big house. On April 23rd, 2004, one of the Tryst member called me through somebody and asked me to come to Patti. So I went there, he asked me and spoke to me for about 45 minutes and did a lot of reference check and background check. Then he told, Swami has indicated that you should involve actively in, for the first time Swami has agreed to build a house for him and you take active role and in charge of building his house. So my first project, an apprenticeship, started with Yajur Mandir project. Then subsequently Swami performed Vimarada Shanti for about 250 couples. So I was also given some major role to do it. The major boon came in the month of August. He told to be in charge of 80th birthday. It was a great experience and we tried all new things on 80th birthday. For the first time, we had a laser show for Swami's birthday. For the first time, we brought a cricketing team. For the first time, we brought in 16 top movies, celebrities to come for birthday. It's a great experience by itself. I will share some other day. One experience I will share. The same remote Swami, physically how he is responding to you. The 80th birthday, when I was doing the evening birthday function, it was rainy every day. So birthday 23rd was very tough day to organize birthday. Morning, the climate was good for about 45 minutes an hour. We could not fly chopper. A lot of VVIPs we could not bring in to put up with in the morning. And during birthday in the Hillview Stadium, if you have not seen Patti, we used to shower flowers from the aircraft. We'll bring an aircraft and a chopper which will fly very low and then we'll shower flowers on Swami from there. It was all a great struggle to do all of that in the morning. But evening, about 4 or 5 days before so I presented to Swami about how the laser shows can happen. So we showed a demo of a laser show and this is going to happen. That time, inadvertently I made a statement. I said, Swami, once we project a light, it will go as far as in the sky. So Swami picked it up saying that you will see light on the sky. So 3-4 times I want to see on the light on the sky, he was telling them. Unfortunately, we have hired a group from Singapore to do the laser show. So they brought in all these lenses, everything from Singapore, the whole equipment. It was very expensive those days. And so because it was raining, the lenses will go back. So you cannot even water in the lens. So the laser show people are refusing to do the laser show in the evening. They are doing one program after other program, musicians are doing. I was controlling the stage on which all the performance is happening. And there is a person who used to sit next to Swami, and Swami used to give instruction what has to happen next. The phone will come and we perform everyone. So whole performance I was controlling. There are about 40 different people controlling each item. I used to give instruction to each person what has to do. And you cannot do one small mistake. The whole program will go differently. And the singer cannot start apaswaram. You cannot do everything. So everything you have to watch meticulously, otherwise. So what happened? So the laser show we are not able to do, we have cancelled it. But it is raining because of that. But Swami is asking, when is the laser show? Then we could not say it is raining. So he said, Swami, the next person said, Swami will start next. Yes, committed. Then he says, you start the laser show. Then I'm telling this, the technician, sir, they said no. And then I told, these 3 lenses, how much it costs, don't worry, if the lens goes, we'll pay you. But trust me, you start the show. The show is actually was 3 minutes. These special lenses has to be used for about 1.5 minutes, or less than 1.5 minutes, or 80 seconds precise. It's all computer programmed show. So I know we have done a lot of rehearsal about the show, so I know what is going to happen, when we are going to put the skylight. And exactly that 80 seconds, only in the Hillview Stadium, there was no rain, not even a drop of a drizzle. And then Swami's, when we put the skylight, Swami's point is, Baga vachindi kada? So this is the kind of Swami, like this on every project, every birthday celebration. 83rd birthday, which was a Sahasra Purna Chandra, 1,000 moons, we celebrated by inviting several spiritual leaders in India to come and pay their respect to Swami. All Shankaracharyas, Matadhipatis, Swamijis across India, about 27 people were invited to come and pay respect to Swami. And 85th birthday, again, he gave a special permission that time for me to be the in charge of to do 85th birthday. And several activities in a day-to-day basis. But last project I will explain about the indoor stadium. It's an interesting story by itself. There's a lot of experience in indoor stadium, and Advirudra Mahayagnam happened the same period. And I'll share 2 experiences on this, then I'll try to connect the last story which I told you about the 7 years. So I'll try to do in about 12 to 15 minutes. So one day what happened in Vrindavan, in Trai Vrindavan, Swami used to meet all the students in the evening and have a session, satsang session, and Swami used to speak and chat with students. Suddenly one day Swami said, 2006, what they call a diamond jubilee, golden jubilee, because 25 years after starting the Swami's university. So then students said, no, Swami, it is silver jubilee. So he did this 3 times. And then Swami passed on with a different discussion. So I was not present at that time on Trai because I was at my work. So around 7 o'clock, my friend called and said, something, Swami spent this 3 times. So he's leading something, Girish, you come, let us discuss. So I went to Vrindavan and night. So we've been, I don't know whether you know, in Vrindavan and all, after 9 o'clock they switch off the light. You cannot have your room light switched on. So we were sitting in the dark and talking about light. So that time we came up with the idea, okay, universities on their silver jubilee, golden jubilee, they create buildings. So I said, what building will create? and it is Swami's institution, it should have very unique. So we identified that Olympic standard indoor stadium is not there anywhere in India, in any institution. Only Sports Authority of India has got few sports complexes. So we narrowed down that, okay, we will build indoor stadium for the anniversary, 25th anniversary of our university. So the next day morning I met with an architect. We put a full diagram of some architecture diagram, because you have to go to Swami with this solution. So the following day morning, 7 o'clock, Swami came out of prayer and I was standing and then carrying all of this and said, Swami, I wanted to build an indoor stadium for the 25th anniversary. What is the indoor stadium? We explained. Then most of the time when you go to Swami, you have to do a lot of preparation work. And because he will come up with questions which you cannot imagine, and then sometimes it becomes a joke or sometimes it becomes a very tough conversation. So if you are going to go to Swami, at least you need few hours of detailed preparation and printouts and thinking. You have to be ready. And also you need to be ready that there are a lot of other intelligent people will be around Swami. They'll all have great ideas, so you have to be very, very careful. You need to handle. So I just about 5 minutes before I thought, if Swami asked where to build, we need to say the location. So remotely I know how Sai Gita shed, we used to call Sai Gita shed, there's still land over there. I said that is the place probably we can think of doing something. So when Swami asked, first question he did not ask, we are asking can we do? He did not answer whether we can do or not. He said, where do we do? Then Swami, near Sai Gita shed, we have some space. Then he just like this, there are a lot of trees. And he said, lot of trees. Then I said, then Swami 1 minute thought like this, and he said, don't worry, we'll cut it off. In about the fraction of 30 seconds, he gave moksha to all the trees. And then very interesting thing he did. He went back after darshan to Vrindavan, asked the students to go to Commercial Street and buy 7 flags. He said, in stadium means you need to have flag. Yes, already from morning to evening he finished the project. The flag will do only the last. It was only 100 and, for birthday we are talking in the month of July, we had only 135 days to build the indoor stadium. We built it, and there are a lot of, so every day I used to have an office in Parthi, and we used to have all the architect, graphic artist, technicians, everybody available, and then we used to present every day morning. When Swami used to do every month for darshan, we used to have one board and explaining what work is going to happen that day, and then Swami used to come every day in the afternoon to see the work. Almost in the 135 days, Swami has come for 100 days. And I have the greatest fortune of my life that every time I used to explain as if a big structural engineer, construction engineer about Swami, that what it is all about. He taught a beautiful lesson on this. So what happened for indoor stadium, we built the ceiling with this space frames. You would have seen in all the airport and allow big pipes on the ceiling. The space frames allows you to have no structure. You get a span, very large span, and a stadium you get a very large span. So it was new technology in India. All the big buildings are coming. L&T was very, very proud about this technology they're going to build. So one day morning, that day space frame work is going to start. We put the space frame specification. I'm showing Swami. It's like a 6x7 print. So I was explaining. So that time Secretary Chakravarti sir was explaining Swami this technology. That time Swami looked at everything, looked at me. Kaushad alaga undi. So spending 40 crores, your building's cowshed. So then we didn't know what to do. Then I went back to the office and said, okay, Swami doesn't like space frame, let's put a false ceiling. So I immediately asked the draftsman in the CAD drawing to put a false ceiling, and we made a 3D rendering of it in a hurry, printed it. When Swami went come for the afternoon darshan, I already have false ceiling ready. When Swami came, looked at it, then he said, Swami, we'll put false ceiling, so space from one, nobody will see Swami. It looks good. Then he asked, did you check with engineers, is it possible? I said, no, Swami, I've checked. Check and tell me. Then only I realized, nobody says you cannot do a false ceiling for such a big span. Even if you need to do, you need to have a very light, thin material. And that thin material manufacturing is nobody does in India. And the false ceiling becomes the whole project. And just to close this false ceiling story is what lesson is. When Swami entered Indoor Stadium, President Abdul Kalam entered the Indoor Stadium. I was walking with Kapil Dev and receiving everybody. My heart was pouncing because the last tile of false ceiling, still about 25 people are there on the top of the ceiling and working. When Swami is entering, if one day falls alone, then whole program is gone. And like I carried, but the last tile was fixed when Abdul Kalam sat on his chair. I was the only guy. Everybody was watching Swami and everybody was watching people. I was the only guy watching. So, like this, a lot of experience. So, about Adirudra Mahayagnam, and when I used to be in Dallas, and I was very fond of one of the book of Swami Bhagavad. In Bhagavad, there's a beautiful Swami narrates a beautiful aspect of Krishna. That Krishna, when Yudhishthira performed Aswamedha Yaga, Krishna wanted a role of paying respect to the priest who is performing the yaga. So it was very close to me. So last I completed, so April 23rd, I was called in 2004 to work on Yajur Mandir project. And after that, continuously every project I worked. Then March 30th was the Yajur Mandir day. On March 21st, Swami sent a message for me to come to his Yajur Mandir on March 30th to have lunch that day. Generally offer lunch on Yajur Mandir day for few people. But he was not there. He left to the hospital soon after speaking, about 2-3 days later. So I went to the hospital and all of it. Then I didn't go. I went to Istanbul somewhere around April 18, 19th for some work. When I was there in Istanbul, I heard the news about Swami's Samadhi. So immediately I took a flight. When I sat on the flight, I looked at the date, April 24th, exactly 7 years. April 23rd, 2004 to April 23rd, 2011. I was absolutely in close proximity of Swami, absolutely serving him in different ways and different experiences. And whatever is said in my puja room in 2001, it exactly happened. Sairam, with that, I will close my speech.